because you might not be great as a poet, and it's hard to make a living as a poet, I assume.
It's impossible.
Well, you can be a professor, but not as a
Yes,
full-time
but not
poet.
as a poet.
It's hard to make a living as a full-time poet.
Yeah.
So when a poet like you writes a book, you expect to sell copies, but there's no bestseller list for poetry, I assume.
Well, very rarely. I mean, I could not earn my living from the sale of my books. No.
So
But
let's
that's
talk
not why
about
I do it.
an issue that we haven't talked about yet, which is race.
Hmm.
You grew up in I would guess, a somewhat segregated environment in Ohio. Was that fair?
It's fairish.
And when you went to college, you were not, along with a lot of other African American girls and boys, right?
I tended to be the only one in the room. Yes.
One.
Yeah.
So do you think that situation helped propel you forward to some way because you wanted to prove you were so much better than some other people might have thought because they didn't take you seriously, or you don't think that had anything to do with your success?
Well, I do think that it had something to do, certainly had a lot to do with my sensitivity, because I realized that inside of me there were all of these worlds and all of these thoughts and interior, emotions that I had not seen expressed in poetry or, even in fiction very often. And I kept thinking, there is this, I'm more than, how do I say this? I guess I could say that I am an entire human being. Look at me, see me. And so something like Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man really struck me. It wasn't that I wanted to prove that I was better. I wanted people to hear me and to know that I acknowledge me and to see me truly. And the way to do that for me was to write poetry because I loved it so much.
And you married a man who was not African American, and was that a challenge at that time when you did that in your community, or was this not a real big deal at that time?
This is kind of interesting because, it's true, I grew up in a community which was changing. In Akron, Ohio at that time, this is northeastern Ohio, there was a lot of white flight going on in the neighborhoods. We were the second African American family to move into a neighborhood when I was 8, 9, and by the time I graduated from high school, it was entirely black, that kind of thing. But it was also, so it was in flux. It was in flux. And in high school, I went in there with, when I went to high school, first 30% black. When I left, 70%, that kind of thing. But what happened was, I think I lived in a very charmed moment where I had white friends and black friends, and we all just we were just going with the tide. My husband, who is German, when I first met Fred, I was struck by the fact that he did not feel guilty. He didn't come with this feeling of, oh, you're black and I'm white, what am I gonna do? It was, he saw me. He saw me, I saw him. And because of that, I think that we had less of a difficult time, though there were moments and there were times when our tires were almost slashed and when things, but we saw each other, we had each other. We had each other's back. My family was great. His family was great.